Well, good evening, friends. Welcome to Sanctified Studios, home of Friarside Chats. As always, I'm your deep fat friar, Pastor Andrew. Well, friends, Christmas is officially in full swing. The department stores, even other ones than Hobby Lobby, are playing Christmas music. Decorations are everywhere, and the quest for the perfect Christmas experience is upon us. Isn't it amazing, friends, how every year we say, I'm not going to get caught up in that. I'm not going to get swept into the hustle and bustle. And yet, then, like a pan of Christmas cookies that burns your hands, you're dropped on the floor and scattered into office parties and gift buying and Christmas exchanges and seeing the lights and decorating and buying gifts and oh, it just feels overwhelming. You know, friends, this year I've asked someone to come and talk to us about the simple part of Christmas. We've talked about the preparation, but what about the place of Christmas? Where should we be during this Christmas season? How should we live during these days? Well, my team of producers have brought me one that knows much about this. His name is Mr. Marty Manger. Mr. Manger, are you there? Are you there, Mr. Manger?
Well, good evening, Friar. Sorry about that. I just got so kind of bored when you were talking about all the busyness that I kind of spaced out. You see, I'm not very showy or flashy. I kind of like things to just be simple and calm. You know, I guess it's just in my nature to be chill and still while the cattle are lowing and the animals are eating. I mean, all that busyness and movement can cause real heartburn, both of the physical and spiritual sense.
That, Mr. Manger, is what inquiring minds want to know. You see, I was told by my team of investigative reporters and producers that you played a huge role in the greatest story ever told. We want to know, how'd you get the role? Were you destined for it? Did it come because of your greatness? Did you have an amazing agent that recommended you? Did you have to do casting calls? How did you get it? We want to know. Please, please tell us.
Friar, get a grip. Just sit down and chill out, and I'll tell you how I got the opportunity to be mentioned in the greatest story ever told. You see, my story starts in a barn. Not a very nice barn. It wasn't a barn owned by one person. It was a rental barn, so people didn't treat it very nice. People would let their animals go in there, and it was my job. Well, I'm a manger. If you don't know what a manger is, I'm basically a donkey dinner plate. It was my job just to kind of stand there, and they would fill me with hay and grain, and the animals would eat. Well, it had been real busy in the town that I was in, this real small town called Bethlehem. You see, there was a new guy in charge, and he had said, "Mo new taxes." He wanted the money. So everybody had to go back to their own hometown to figure out how much they owed. Well, everybody was running around. People were trying to get the best rooms and the best food. They were trying to find all the cool stuff and buy souvenirs. But not me. I just did what I always did. Stood there and waited. That was my job. Didn't get caught up in the hustle and bustle. Nope, just me. Just Mr. Manger standing in the barn. Wasn't very long after I'd seen all the people running all over the place that I heard the innkeeper, he was the guy that owned the barn that the other people used, telling some folks they could stay there for the night. I thought, well, this is it. Back to work. Stand here, they're going to fill me up, and I'm getting ready to deal with donkey breath. Didn't work that way, though. Instead of a donkey or a cow coming through the door, it was a young man and a young woman. Now, I know the rule. No matter the womb, you never assume. But this girl was pregnant. And not just a little bit pregnant. She was like ready to pop pregnant. Well, it wasn't very long till she had a baby. Right there in the barn. I couldn't believe it. Everybody was excited. Joseph was running around and Mary was holding her baby. But me, I just did what I always did. I just stood there. After a little while, Joseph, the young man, came over and he began to fluff the straw that was there in my manger. Then all of a sudden, I felt something different. It wasn't the mouth of a cow or the face of a donkey. It was calm and sweet. I realized just then as I heard the baby cooing that Joseph had put that baby in my arms. Me, the lowly manger in a rented barn, got to hold this precious newborn. I thought it was amazing. Wasn't long after till a group of guys showed up and they said, "Hey, some angels showed up to us over yonder, and we came to see the one that is glory to God in the highest, the one that is known as Emmanuel, God with us." Joseph stood up, and I expected him to take him to the inside to the hotel and show him somebody fancy, but he just pointed over at me. There, in my manger arms, laid the baby, the Son of God, the promised Messiah, Jesus. You see, it wasn't because I was chasing things. It wasn't because I was running around or hustling and bustling that Christmas came to me. It was in standing still that I got the opportunity to be the first one to hold Christmas in my arms. You know, Friar, so many of us spend so much time hurrying that we never truly embrace what Christmas is really all about. And that's the birth of Jesus.
Mr. Manger, that is such an amazing story. You know, I must confess, it's easy for me, the deep fat friar, to get caught up in the candlelight services, the candies, the community events, even going after the perfect gift. It's really hard for me to stop and take the opportunity to be still and remember what Christmas is all about. That God sent his one and only Son, Jesus, born in a Bethlehem stall, laid in a manger, to be God with us, Emmanuel, the promised one.
Well, Friar, I hope you get the chance to pause and to wait and to truly embrace what Christmas is all about. That's the baby Jesus, sent to this earth for you and for mangers like me. I gotta go. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Manger, for sharing your incredible story with us. You know, friends, last week here on Friarside Chats, we lit our candle here on our Advent wreath to remind us of preparing for Christmas. This week, let's light a candle reminding us to pause during this Christmas season, to not be in such a hurry, to hustle and bustle, to make it less about the gifts and more about the gift that has been given. You know, friends, the tinsel and lights, they're very nice. But the real gift of Christmas is Jesus. Friends, if you and I will do that and focus on him, recognizing that he is Emmanuel, God with us, then much like the manger, we will hold the truth of Christ in Christmas. Thanks so much for joining us here at Sanctified Studios, Friarside Chats. As always, I'm your deep fat friar, We'll see you next time.